Did you say something?
Necronomicon is coming.
So thanks to a viewer comment that I got this morning, I thought I'd make a video on the subject of using your voice in ritual and whether or not you should actually speak, or if it's kosher to do all of the chanting or phrasing or intention setting, things like that, in your head. Now, of course, this is going to be basically my opinion on the subject. In a lot of the books that I've read, they do say that, if you don't feel comfortable with vocalizing when you're doing a chant or setting an intention or even, calling the quarters, the north, south, east, west, blah, 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 or invoking the gods or goddesses or what have you, the way that I think about it is, earthquake. The way I think about it is you really gotta, do what's comfortable for you. I think that a lot of people, when they first start doing a particular system, or the first time that they try a spell, or maybe if they're nervous about how exactly they are going to word something, then they're more likely to do the chanting or whatever in your head. Now, as you get more and more proficient in magic and the more spells and rituals and things that you do, I think the more likely people are to actually vocalize them. Now, in terms of necronomical workings, in the book it says, if, speak the formula loud if it is loud, and speak it softly if it is soft. Now, in terms of the Necronomicon, that basically means any of those phrases that are all in caps, you are supposed to say loud. Like, Z kia kanpa, Z anakanpa, Z dinger kia kanpa, Z dinger anakanpa. But some of the other ones, I think, I don't have the books upstairs anyway. Some of them, I think one or two of the Maklu burnings, or some of the other chants, maybe even the Hymn to the Ancient Ones, or the morning prayer, those are in lowercase, so of course you don't have to shout them, and they can be quiet. They can be whispered, they can be talked at a normal volume. I mean, or, if you want to, yell it. Really, using your voice in ritual is a personal preference, but let me give you my opinion on this. I think that it is more powerful to do something out loud than it is in your head. One, because of the idea of being able to focus on something. Maybe if you're in the middle of reading something during a ritual for the first time, and by the way, any chants or things that you do, you should really practice them multiple times, maybe do rituals multiple times, or just familiarize yourself with it before you actually step into that space. So you have more confidence when you say something, because, like, for example, with the Necronomicon words, the ancient phrases, the first time that you try them, or the second time, the 10th time, whatever, depends on how fast you jump up the learning curve, the easier they get. And I feel like the more that you practice them out loud, the more that you can hear yourself, and the more familiar that you get with the way that things are phrased, maybe even the rhythm of particular chants, and the more real it seems that when you say something out loud rather than just in your head. I mean, there's a lot of talk in metaphysics and new agey stuff, new age junk about like affirmations, for example. When you do an affirmation, you're supposed to say it out loud. Why? From a teaching perspective, that has to do with it's multi-sensory basically. When you say it, it not only comes out, but it also goes back in because you hear it, and that's a very affirming thing. When you hear somebody tell you like advice, and it goes in your ears, it's more likely to stick rather than reading it. Of course, this is my opinion, but I wonder how many other people agree with me. And so basically, the more confident that you are, the easier it is to say things out loud, and I think the more real that they become. I mean, if you are really, really wanting something, or you are doing a powerful ritual, like, for example, a gate walk, I think it makes it more real to say those things out loud. Now, somebody could be like, if you say it in your head, the gods can still hear you, and, I believe that's true, but I think that there's more of an emotional oomph when you say something out loud than just in your head. Partially because people with attention difficulties or even self doubt and things like that. If you're reading something in your head, you're gonna be questioning yourself. You might even like get distracted or like look away, and that takes away from the energy of the chant or whatever it is that you're reading. When you say it out loud, it's coming out. It's there. And attention difficulties aside, if you just read the whole thing through, then boom, it's out there and you have it. There's that phrase of like, words have power. That's why they call it spelling. I love that phrase. And when you say something out loud, you can't get it back. So if you are setting an intention for something, like I'm going to have this thing, I'm going to do this thing, I'm going to end this aspect of my life, I am going to get rid of this person, what have you. I think it's much, much more effective to say it out loud. I mean, like, I don't know why I always go with this example, but we'll just roll with it. If you wanted somebody to leave you alone, what are you going to do? Are you going to pass them a note saying, hey, get out of my life? Or are you going to scream it at them? Which one is more effective? That's partially why I think that being more vocal is more effective, especially in ritual, because it has more power to it, in my opinion, and it has more of an emotional oomph. Remember, magic and the magical energy that we all use in rituals really comes from your emotions. So if you are trying to do something very powerful, then make your voice powerful. And I don't mean just loud, give it a powerful tone, whatever tone you might think is appropriate for that, for whatever ritual that you're doing. If you're doing something to calm yourself down or to, some kind of happy thing, then you could use a calm voice. If you're doing something that is supposed to be transformative or powerful or banishing, then use a loud voice. You guys get what I mean? Anyway, this was pretty short, and so I think that this explanation did some good. Like I think I said earlier, I got a comment this morning about whether or not to use your voice in ritual and which way do I think works better, and I hope this answered it. And I've been up since about I woke up around like 8-ish, I think, but I spent like 4 hours in the middle of the night awake because I couldn't sleep, and I ended up adding like 3 more pages to the manuscript, and my artist got back to me with a graphic that I asked him to design on the Mesopotamian worldview, which I think I might make a video about later. Probably not today. I'm kind of taking the day off, being a little bit lazy, but I'm happy I was able to do this for you guys. So let me know what you think about whether or not you should use your voice in ritual or if it's kosher to do it in your head. I think that this explained my opinion, and I'm anxious to hear what anybody that's watching this has to say. Good hunting.